Hello, Jamie back from Inky&Scrappy for our next Let's Start Stamping series class or instruction, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit simpler, just really stamping, coloring with either the solid one or not coloring it at all and kind of keeping it simple and going from there. I have a cold, so I'm hoping to get through this one without too many, you know, having to stop and restart with coughing issues, and hopefully my voice sticks around. So this is one that just came in an Ink Road mystery bundle. She's been back doing some mystery bundles, which is really fun. So anyways, I am starting with my stamp platform here. I guess I won't need to have the piece of paper on there because I'm going to end up moving it anyways, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm already here, so. And my desk is cleaner than ever. You know I'm lying, right? Okay, I'm glad we had that discussion. So I'm kind of figuring out, like, lining up. So I guess backwards, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need it to be at least 4 1/4, which is going to be there. So probably about to there, I think all the way to the end, maybe, possibly. We'll see. I do have 2 card ideas in mind, so we'll see how, you know, I muddle it out. We'll figure it out. Let's see if I do. I might be able to do it this way. Let's see. I shouldn't have done that, but we'll go with that, and then I'm gonna switch over and do it on this side. Yeah, I was not on. Trying to use my line on the actual thing to kind of line these up. And I want to tuck this one in here in hopes that I can move it up and down and get the look I'm going for with, I could use an extra egg set, to be honest. Let's see, this one needs to come down a little bit. Yeah, it might not be perfect. That's okay. Let's see, I have a clear one here yet. Or clear, I guess empty. So let's bring this one in and set this one off center here. You could definitely do this one row at a time and, you know, make your life a little bit easier. I am trying for, I don't want to say easy, but trying for something a little bit easier with less stamping, I guess less time stamping and cleaning. So that's kind of my hope. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. If we start here, my piece of paper is way bigger than I actually need it to be. This way I can stamp and then I can come back and kind of move it up and down if I so need to. Let's just go here. I'm trying to kind of keep my distance on this one about the same. I want to be able to move this one over and get this one, hopefully, eventually. We'll see how it goes. You know, I have an idea. We'll see if it actually pans out like I was hoping it was going to do. So for this one, I'm going to bring in, my idea is to do kind of like a rainbow with the eggs, but I'm going to do it kind of in a couple of different steps. I'm going to bring in just, you can use distress inks if that's what you have. I've had these sitting here forever, so I was going to try to kind of bring in some of these in hopes that I can get a rainbow effect. Do I need a blue of some sort? Mermaid Lagoon, maybe? It's like a tealy color. Let's see what kind of a color blend that gives us. So, whoops, don't feel like you have to have any of those inks to make them work. I'm just going with what I think is going to work color wise. So when I do rainbow, And this is not going to go well for me, is it? Let's pop this one up here and use that as my guide, because if I don't have a guide, I'm going to have issues later on. Okay. So to start with this one, let me see if I can get all of this on screen. I'll bring in the VersaFine later on. Okay, so I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to start with my yellow in the middle. And this is where that stamp platform really comes in handy. So I'm going to start with my yellow here. Stamp the yellow down. Whoop, lift it up, and it's going to be a little difficult at first because, yeah, my stamps are sticky yet. I should have probably mucked them up a little bit. And I'm going to bring in this is my, you know, stamp towel. It's been washed before, it just is very stained. I'm just going to kind of come in and clean off the yellow. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want to get a whole lot of ink transfer for the most part. And then I'm going to come in with that pink shade and do part of the other side, the part that didn't get inked, and then of course the blue shade. I'm going to come in and do that, and this is different ink, so it's going to be a little bit different when it comes to stamping wise, right? So I don't want to go all the way to the middle, but I kind of want to come in on both sides to the middle. See if we can get this to stamp. Back over the top. I wiggled it. Okay. Just me trying to line it back up. Okay. I think we're good there. And so by going with 3 ink colors but kind of going over them, you're going to make some different colors, right? So that's kind of my idea on this one is as I move, I'm going to get some yellows and some oranges. When the yellow and the pink meets, it's going to kind of create the orange. And where the yellow and the blue meets, it's going to make that green shade, and then you still have the blue. So you kind of get a rainbow without having the rainbow ink pad. And then we're just going to move this one up. Let's see if I can wiggle this one over. Nope, it's not going to be lined up quite right for that. So I'm just going to end up with a repeating pattern here. So this is where if you mark it, at least you'll have, your pattern should line up that way. Even if, you know, it's not lining up the other way. So I'm just going to try to get this one to stay put. It looks like space-wise I should be okay. I'm going to push this up just a little bit more. So just making sure that you line it up in your window before you re-ink and stamp. So this time, because I still have that pink on there and the blue, I'm just going to come back in and re-ink with that pink and that blue, kind of keeping it in the same area. And I'm going to press a little bit harder with the blue just because it's a distress ink and not a dye, you know, not a regular stamping ink. I know we've talked about it in the past, but distress inks are usually used more for technique than they are for stamping. They're just not as great of a stamping ink. You can stamp with them. It's best to have a platform style stamping tool. And then I'm going to come in and clean that one off again. If you do, you know, the color that you just got done with, oftentimes you won't have to clean it as many times, but just keep that in mind. You might also get a little bit different color variation because you're going over the top of a darker color with your yellow as opposed to the other way. Okay, and then I think that might be big enough. Let's measure. I have the funkiest rulers right by my desk. Go figure. Okay, so 3.5. So 3.5, 4.5. So I probably need to go down one more layer. I think we're good there. So yes, I have at least enough there to go that way. So keep going with this one. A little bit further up. Looks good, and we're going to start this one with the yellow. Stamp that. And then I'm going to wipe the yellow off a little bit. I don't worry so much about the yellow contaminating my darker colors as I do my darker colors contaminating my yellow, to be honest. I mean, you know, to each their own, and you definitely don't want to contaminate your ink pads because, you know, that's one of those more expensive things to replace. And then I'll come in with that pink and the blue. I guess I could have done like a reverse rainbow on the second sets, you know what I mean? Like this one could have been pink, yellow, and then blue, but, or I could have worked in some purple in the middle. Anyways, there is kind of my egg panel there, and then I'm just going to cut this one down, and then I will do a sentiment on it. But let's do the other one first. So this one, let's see here, I think we're good. Well, I'm going to leave that there. Okay, we're going to just do it right here. I cut this piece of paper is still cut a little bit bigger, just like the other one was. But this time I'm not actually using my colored inks for this one. I'm going to bring in the VersaFine Onyx Black. Any black would work for this one. Pigment ink is going to sit or be more, when I do my second stamping, you'll see. The pigment ink is definitely going to stay on top or be brighter when I'm finished stamping over the top. Now you could do this one this way, or you could do it the other way first, but truthfully this way is probably going to be the easiest way to do it. And then I'm just going to move this one down. I should be able to semi-line it up that way. Score. Okay, and I'm just going to do my second row. Let's see if I probably have a rainbow ink pad somewhere. I know I have a rainbow ink pad somewhere. Oh, I think it's still wrapped. Now I'm gonna hold this one and hope for the best because it's not gonna sit otherwise. So I'm just gonna do the bottom row for the most part here. That's all that's gonna fit anyways. And stamp that one. Now in this set there's a solid stamp, and there's a lot of flower sets that kind of come like that. They have like the solid stamp. Now you can do it two ways. You can definitely just use that solid stamp, which is what I'm going to do. But you also have the option, especially for a shape like this, is to just turn over your stamp on, if you have a stamping block, or if you're using the platform, which this would probably be. I guess I could do this one both ways, huh? Put it on your block backwards so you're stamping with that solid part, and it'll kind of give you that solid color fill that you're going to get with this one, where this one is going to sit inside for the most part, inside the lines on these. This one would sit on the outside, but we can do both. It's not really gonna matter. So I'll show you this way, and then we can do a row the other way. So I'm actually gonna line these ones up right on top. It will give the color to the outside just a little bit, if that makes sense. It'll give you kind of like a shadow all the way around it, but it's kind of a fun stamping trick. And this time I can actually put that all the way to the side because I'm not worried about getting anything hanging off. And then I'm going to pick up all of those. Maybe. That whole sticky stamp thing kicks my butt every time. Okay, so I'm just making sure that it was lined up good again. And then I'm going to come in. Wow, I wiggled. We're probably good enough. So this time you're just going to stamp that hole on the back of that. So you can pick different colors. You could just do, let's bring in some purples here because I think we need purple. Let's do purple one here. Pink. Yellow. Let's see, I have a green. Let's do key lime fizz. Here's hoping these are still juicy. These came in kits that I had eons ago. And so, you know, I don't use my little ones too frequently. A lot of times I use them for class things. That one doesn't have any oranges in. I could do fruit punch, I guess, is going to be a orangish. A pinky orange, I guess. And then you're just going to take that one and then go over the top. Stamp that down, and you'll have colored Easter eggs without a whole lot of extra. But keep in mind, like this one where it's open in the top area, it might not stamp down as good. So, you know, keep that in mind if you're going to do them that way. The other option is to use, where did I go with the stamp? Still on the stamp thing. So the other option, of course, is just coming in with the ink pad and that fill-in stamp. And we'll do this one to fill in that green that I missed down below here. But this one you can just kind of see through. That clear block is really going to help. You can definitely do it on the stamp platform. It's just going to take a little bit more time. I find block inking and just going tends to be quicker. That's, you know, kind of how I like to do it that way. But since I did it this way to make it cohesive on the card, I'm just gonna do it without the little block stamp. But I do like the look of, well, and then I got ink everywhere. Fingers. Inky fingers. Oh, well, if I line up that one and that one, hopefully we should be close. Let's see. Looks like we are close there. Now, this time I can switch my colors. I don't have to go with the same ones. I can definitely just make it a, you know, like a Easter basket. We used to color eggs. We haven't colored. We talked about this last week, I think, didn't we? About Easter egg coloring. We haven't colored eggs in eons. But so here is the Heroes Here Hues. This is a reactive palette, similar to the little ones, but this one is a rainbow palette. So you can definitely use a rainbow palette to get that rainbow look. And so maybe. And so I'm just going to use this one to kind of stamp onto. I'm trying not to get, well, that one's going to be funky, isn't it? Okay. Let's come back with this side. Maybe. It's not going to work very well for me. Alright, well, we're going to try it. Okay, I think we're good there. I think we got most of them covered. And then we're just going to take that one. Of course, this one didn't cover very good. We'll just end up going in and filling it with that other one. Take this one. It looks like it was the bluish green tealy colors, so let's go that route. Wiggle it around a little bit and call it good, right? So we can get that look of kind of like the marbled eggs or the colors, the fun colors in your eggs, that sort of look. Let's do some pinks on that last row there. All right. Should be good there. I'm going to go in with, let's see, we'll do yellow on the one that doesn't stamp very good. I'm going to do this similar to the way we did the first one, so I'm kind of going to mix my colors as I stamp them here. Here's hoping we can realign that one up. It got very greenish. But well, such is life. So I'm going to take this one, kind of clean them a little bit. I probably could have cleaned them a little bit better and would have gotten a better result. Whoopsies. I'm going to go in with that pink, and then I'm going to come in with that fruit punch kind of on the side here to kind of give it a little bit more color variation. And don't be afraid to spritz it with water if it takes you a little bit of time. You can also use like Crayola, I want to say Crayola markers, like the water-based ones, and spritz them and stamp them. You'll get a similar result because they're water-based. And so if you spritz them with a little bit of water, it'll kind of give you that watery look, and you can have a little bit of fun with them. So you don't have to have the ink colors to do them this way. You can definitely use markers to kind of get that similar result. Let me hit that one with the yellow again. Definitely picked up some green onto my yellow base there. Oh well, such is life, yeah. Okay, so there's my second panel. Pretty, you know, simple when it comes to you get some gorgeous results there. So we're just gonna cut these down and then we will stamp and add some sentiments to them. So I'll be right back. I need to switch out the battery. Okay. Let's bring in the paper cutter here. And I'm going to, let's see, I think I want to do a small border on this one. So let's see, 4 1/4. So 4 is going to be like right there. So I'm just going to trim just a little bit. I want my eggs to kind of hang off the sides. I don't want them to be, I'm going to just trim this straight so I'm not fighting with the ruffle there. I'm gonna go 4. So I'm gonna do a 1/4 inch all the way around. You wouldn't have to, you could definitely do it the same, but, and then, so that means I need to do 5 1/4 on this side. So that's for that one. And then for this one, I'm gonna trim off these and we'll see where we're at. So I trim off that side and I trim off this one. Probably do about the same 5. Let's do 5 1/4. 5, 4. So this one and that one. And that piece I would probably maybe put on the inside if I wanted to add a little strip in there. Definitely you don't have to. This one can just get thrown. Alright, I have those. Now for the sentiments. I should have put that one in the middle and then I could have done the sentiments in there. I mean, you could have definitely still done the sentiments in there. Let's see. I do Hey Chickie. Let's get chocolate wasted. You found me. Happy Easter. You're a good egg. It's okay to be extra. Express yourself. You are exquisite. I kind of like just the simplicity of the Hey Chickie. Now, color-wise, I think I want to do this one on black. So it's, you know, I'm going to have to do some white heat embossing. More than likely. I'll bring in, I mean, that would be really pretty to throw on there too. Just do a glitter layer with the sentiment on top would be pretty. But, okay. Ideas. This one's got like glitter galore on it. We'll use it. It's all good. I think I'm just gonna go with a simple Happy Easter. I'll do one that says Happy Easter and it's okay to be extra because hello, extra. And if I can get them to unstick to my fingers. I don't know exactly how I want to cut these out yet. So I'm going to give myself enough wiggle room to cut them out in an egg shape if I have, I don't know if I have an egg shaped die. I might. I'll go there. Somewhat straight-ish, maybe. Where did my other, oh, there it is. Okay, so for these, I'm going to bring in the VersaMark ink. It's great for stamping to emboss. The other thing is Hero Arts Unicorn ink would be my other. This one's the other one I usually use for the white one. This one, there's a Yeti one too. It's Yeti, maybe Lawn Fawns is maybe Yeti. White is not my favorite thing to heat set. It's just not. Usually I stamp it with the white one a couple of times. I should probably use, this is my Tailored Expression Anti-Static Powder Tool. As you can see, it puts a lot of powder down on black. You can't see it so good on the other stuff, but you know, when you're actually, the point of doing it that way is so that your embossing powder hopefully doesn't stick to the rest of the cardstock. So when you go in and heat set, you can get a better impression. So usually I will try to heat set. I have a really love-hate relationship. I love the look of white embossing powder on black. I hate that it does not always turn out the greatest. So I'm putting that white layer first, and then I'm coming back in with the VersaMark just to help it stick a little bit better. Stamping it multiple times, of course, with the stamping tool really kind of helps. I am using Brutus Monroe's Alabaster White Embossing Powder. It's a fine white embossing powder. It's the one I've had the best luck with. But as you can see, by using the powder tool, it shouldn't stick too bad. Like, I don't have any over stickage on there. The other thing is to kind of let your heat tool warm up a little bit before you heat set, and start from the back side. Then I just make sure that it's glossy and you know, fully set. Why do I set from the back side first? Setting from the back side, even if it took you a little bit longer to get to the actual heat setting process, it'll melt it a little bit on the back side so it's sticking to your paper, so when you hit it from the front side it doesn't blow everywhere. That's, I mean, one of the tips that I can give you that gets me better results. It's not, you know, it's not perfect all the time, but it definitely, you know, I didn't figure they were going to turn out as good as they did, because, you know, usually when I'm live filming, it doesn't ever turn out as good as it, you know, should, or I want it to. Also taking a lightly, this one's lightly damp because I used it to clean, but just dusting off the, you know, that powder will kind of help give you that crisper black back again. So there is our sentiment. Let me decide. Let's see. I have to decide where we're going with this one, huh? So I could do the Happy Easter in from the side like that, I suppose, with a flag shape. Okay, now this one, we could definitely do that one too, but I want to see if there's, I don't think I have an egg die. At least not one that's the right size. Well, let me go and check out what I have, and I'll be right back. I mean, the sentiment says it's okay to be extra, right? So I'm gonna be extra. So I'm gonna bring in Claw and Fawn's Reveal Wheel Spring Basket add-on, just because look at how wonderfully that it's okay to be extra fits inside of the little basket. Like, it was just meant to be or something. But I'm excited that I can use the little ink roads, some of the ink road sentiments in that little basket, because I just bought the basket and I didn't buy any of the coordinating stamp sets because I was like, I have so many Easter sets that I don't use anyways, that it'd be fun to just add the little basket as a reveal wheel. Anyways, if you haven't watched my other videos, I do a lot of interactive, and so I'm sure that one will come up eventually here, you know, in the future. But since I'm gonna go extra with that one, I might put that one on that background instead of, I was thinking that one, but I'm thinking maybe I'll switch it to that one, just because, you know, it's gonna be a little bit busier, maybe. I'm gonna run this through the die cut machine. I would bring up the little one, but I'd have to cut these apart and then run them through separately. So you're just gonna have to bear with me on that one. Let's see here. I just want a piece of brown paper. This one should work to cut this one out. Of course, I'm going to have a black basket that I really don't need the black basket part. Pokey tool. when Jamie goes off grid because she was thinking this one was going to be a quick and easy one today. Yeah. Okay. That's what I get. Alright. Okay. I'm just going to put this one on here. I kind of like the pink. I think that'll stick out like a sore thumb. Perfect. I'm going to do the pink. Ooh, I could do the pink little bow because that would be cute. Since I have the pink there. We could do, let's do this one in white, and I can always opt to go. That's not very white. Okay. Alright. So bring up the little one. I guess we're doing some die cutting today. I wasn't planning on it, but you know, such is life. I didn't have an egg shape. I could hand cut an egg shape, but let's be honest, my egg cutting skills are not the greatest. So I need that one and that one. This one, I just need a little piece. For this piece, do I want to do, I didn't want to inlay that one, so maybe we'll do that in black. I'm a cheat. Just kind of wiggle in my paper. There and there. And we will pop that one there. It wiggled, but I think we should be okay. And let's see here. We've got that one, that one. I need this one yet. I should probably find tape to hold it in place, but yeah, it's gonna wiggle. Okay. Dooby-doo. I get so spoiled with my push button automatic one. Oh, if it ever dies, I'm gonna cry. Buy myself another one. Okay. Alright. Why will I cry? Because they're hella expensive. Okay. Cuts into the toy budget. Well, it is a toy, but you know what I mean. Maybe. Maybe you don't know what I mean. Anyways. Okay. Let's put this one together quick. Popping those out. I guess I could have done that one in black on white paper, but since it's black on black, you know, white on black, we'll use it as is and pop that one in from there. Yeah, we can get that one to work. So I'm just going to come in with my glue, add. Now, because these are like really thin lines, I kind of have a couple of chunks there. I'm just going to take my finger and tap it a little bit. This will eliminate it from getting all gooby on my black piece here, because I don't want that, like, you know, the over gluing funky look to it. So I'm going to put that there. I could have gone with a darker brown, but whatevs. And then I'm going to put my little white. I thought about coloring it, but I think I like the white. Very crisp and clean. Springy look, I guess. And so I'm going to pop that on there. Which one? I think that one's actually going to look better on this one, isn't it? It is. Okay. It's okay to be extra. So we're just gonna pop our basket on here. You could definitely frame this one with like a square behind it or a circle kind of in the center, you know, do a circle there. I'm just gonna pop my little Easter basket down in the corner, kind of the same width from my corner. I think it looks, it's offset, but it looks even, I guess, you know, because it's not, it's about the same distance from one from the side to the bottom. I don't know, it gives me the illusion that it's centered. It's not centered, but you know, it looks decent. I don't know. That's all I got. That's what I got for you. Okay, I'm gonna pop on a little pink bow because I think it's just cute. I'm gonna pop up those. Let's put the little, some reverse tweezers would have really come in handy here. I'm just gonna pop this one. I like to kind of fold it up a little bit. You can definitely kind of wrap it a little bit. I'm not going to glue down the actual bow part. I want it to kind of be perked up a little bit. That barely art glue is just, it gives it a little bit too much wiggle room for me. I'm just not used to the wiggle room. Okay, stay, are we good? Okay, I'll come back to that. So that is that one. The other option I thought was to put the bunny on here. Eleanor sent me that one, and so I thought about it, but my colors just, they're too bright of a pink, I think, to use the little light pink bunny, but I'll throw that one on a card because I think that sentiment would fit on there, so that would be a really cute, quick card as well. Okay, Happy Easter. I think I should probably, oh, well, you know what? That tape really cleaned off the no static powder. So let's try that again. Whoop. Whoop. This is not very sticky washy, so if your washi's super sticky, it's not going to work that way, but it'll stick and tear and all the things. But I got it way cleaner than my little brush trick did. I think for that one, I am going to put that one on a piece of a black card base. This is a shiny black card base. Let's add, it looks like it just needs some sparkle. So let's add some sparkle. This is that Winsor & Newton iridescent watercolor medium mixed with a ton of water in just a little spray bottle. It's got a clogged nozzle, so it's gonna work wonderfully for me today. Yes, just what I wanted. Now I am playing with reactive ink on these, so they are going to run a little bit. Did I know that when I did it? Yes. You know, it is what it is. I was just going for gold. It's all good. Card base. I'm going to pop this one on there. Either tape runner or glue. Probably wait for it to dry. You know, I'm trying to not keep you here for hours on end. Okay. Center that one. You could definitely do a black cardstock and not a black card base. I will end up putting a white sheet on the inside just to kind of help, so you can actually read the inside when you do the inside. Do I want it over there, or do I want to stick it there so it's in the center? I kind of like it, kind of like the other one, just like right in that corner. So I'm just gonna add some glue and then I will trim off the overhang once I decide on placement. Okay, we'll go there. And then I'll just flip it over. Oh, I actually did pretty good on my glue guess. All right. Trim that one off. And so there is that one. Fairly quick and easy with, you know, not a lot of whatever. But yeah, you could definitely throw this on the inside if you have a colored card base that's probably not black. I maybe go in with like a pink in the inside, and then I could just lay this over the top or put it over on the side. I a lot of times use my homemade pattern paper for inside the card just to kind of bring the outside in. So there is that one. And for this one, I think, let's see here, I've got I think we'll just go with white. Do I want to go white? I'll go white. I just don't have, I have a yellow. I guess I could go yellow. I just don't have a bright pink in my pre-done card bases. I could go yellow. It's, you know, that one egg is yellow. That's about it. It'll work. Okay. I would definitely go find that pink and use the pink. Just saying. Nope, that one's not. I say sometimes I have them cut in A2s, but not today. And there we have that one, and this should be dry, so I should be able to pop up the little bow pieces now. So it's not flat. So there is the other one. It's okay to be extra. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I gave you a couple of ideas to do some quick stamping. Usually if I start something like this, I'll do a whole sheet or a bunch of card fronts and then go back and finish and do it that way. I don't know. Are there any questions, comments? Hit me up down below. I don't know. That's what I have for you today. I hope you guys have a great one. I don't know if I'll be back next week with a video. Depends on how my voice holds out. And, you know, life in general. So, I hope you guys have an amazing Easter if I'm not back next week. And have a great day. Bye.